G'day guys, I'm Ali. If you're new here, I'm a mum of three. I have a 3-week-old baby, and the last 2 pregnancies I've had gestational diabetes. And I wanted to share with you how I survived it. Big disclaimer here, I am just a lady on the internet though, sharing my story. I really encourage you to go and seek professional advice, whether it's a dietitian, a diabetes educator, talk to your doctor. As we all know, we're all individuals. Speak to them for personal advice. This is just general sharing my story and what helped me to survive gestational diabetes. Number one, it's not our fault. So when I first got diagnosed with gestational diabetes, the first thing the obstetrician said to me is, it's not your fault. It's to do with the placental hormones, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So that I held on to. So I listened to the professional advice who said to me, it is not my fault. Having orange juice during my pregnancy did not cause me to get gestational diabetes. It is due to the placental hormones. Number 2 is gestational diabetes does not occur to a particular body type, race, exercise level. It doesn't have a look. Once again, it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. It is due to the placental hormones. I couldn't have done anything to prevent it. It was due to the placental hormones and the placenta that I had. Number 3 is change from high GI foods to low GI foods. Some quick, simple ones to do is to change bread. So we were having whole grain, and with my last pregnancy, we went to low GI bread. And it was awesome because the great thing about it was, due to my blood glucose levels, which I would check after each meal, 2 hours after a meal, and the fasting one first thing in the morning, I could tell that by having 2 slices of this low GI bread, it did not raise my sugars, which for me was so satisfying rather than just having 1 piece of toast. So another simple change I made was going from white rice to basmati rice. So I could still have rice with my curries. I just didn't have a heap of it, but I could have rice because I was having the low GI rice. And there's plenty of other low GI rices that you can have as well. The next one's pasta. When I had gestational diabetes the first time, I just didn't eat a lot of pasta. Whereas this time I found the high protein, low GI pasta, and I also ate a lot of legume pasta. So there was 2 types of legume pasta that I tried, and I couldn't taste it. It didn't matter. It was covered in tomato-based sauce anyway, and it didn't raise my sugars. Once again, for all these changes you make, you just have to check with your blood glucose levels what occurs, because we're all different people. But this high protein pasta really worked for me. Number 4 is I tried to base my meals around the plate method. So half the plate was salad or veggies, 1/4 of it was protein, and 1/4 of it was low GI carbohydrates. From what I learned, this is why it's different from a keto diet. We don't want to cut out all carbohydrates. We just want low GI carbohydrates. So it's not like carbs are bad. We need them for ourselves, and we need them for our growing baby as well. Number 5 is I actually changed potatoes. So with this pregnancy I've just been through, I found some low GI potatoes. So just plain white potatoes. They're called Spud Light, and they didn't increase my blood glucose levels. So I could have a loaded spud and really enjoy it, and it didn't increase them. The other potato I changed to last time is I just had sweet potato. I didn't have any of the white potatoes. So this time I was really happy to find a white potato as well as still having the sweet potato. And they're delicious. The other great thing I've noticed now with a lot of restaurants is they are starting to do sweet potato chips. So a low GI chip when you're out and about. This then flows on to the next one, which is convenience snacks. Something I found very difficult is when you are actually out and about. I was at a farmer's market and I really struggled to find something that I could eat. So this time I had these Carmen bars. They're high protein, low GI, and I would always have them in my bag. So wherever I was, if I needed a snack, I had something low GI, because I honestly found it hard to find options that I could eat when I was out and about. The first time in my bag, I had a little packet of these chickpeas, whereas I ate them so much last time, I couldn't even eat chickpeas this time, but it worked for me when I first had gestational diabetes. Number 7 is I modified our family traditions. So on Sunday for us in our family, it's Pancake Sunday, and I wanted to continue doing this, but our normal recipe has flour in it. So I wanted to have a look for an alternative, and I found a couple. There was a cottage cheese and oat one, there was an almond meal. I mean, you can even do like sweet potato and egg and make that into a pancake. So by modifying our family traditions, it meant that I could be involved and I didn't feel like I was missing out. Another one is homemade pizza. So I used to make the pizza base myself, whereas during this time I just used a low GI wrap or low GI pizza base if I wanted to, and then put the toppings on top of that. So I could still enjoy our homemade pizzas by just modifying them. Number 8 is exercise after meals. I found did lower my blood glucose levels, and it could be something as simple as walking around for 10 minutes after I'd had lunch, and then my blood glucose levels would be below what they needed to be. Once again, everyone's different, so try and find what works for you, and you just have to play around with it. And then during the pregnancy, it can change as the pregnancy hormones increase. Number 9 was taco night. So we love tacos in our place. So what I did is I just modified to a low GI wrap instead of the tortillas. So we ended up all having this wrap. No one noticed any difference. Everyone was happy with it. And it just once again meant that I could keep some of our family favorites on the meal plan, and I didn't feel like I was making a meal for them and a meal for me. So just by making some simple changes meant that we could all eat a low GI diet. I will say something I did notice is that the grocery bills did increase. I mean, something as simple as the pasta, I could get that pasta for like 80 cents compared to the high protein low GI. So I did notice that low GI items were costing more, but I just accepted that, and I'm grateful that I had the options there. So do have a look in your supermarket and see what you want to swap, and check out the prices at different supermarkets, and you might be able to find one that has cheaper low GI items. Number 10, I couldn't share this video without sharing an Instagram account that made a massive difference to me, and this is Robin's account. She's a registered dietitian at the Women's Hospital in Melbourne, so she's a health professional. She gives very general advice, but it was enough for me. I just learned so much from her. Her handle is gestational diabetes_dietitian. So she was the main one I followed, and I would be craving something like apple crumble because it was winter here in Australia, and bang, she would share an apple crumble recipe that I could make that didn't increase my blood sugar levels. Awesome page, guys. Like, I cannot recommend her enough. And the last thing I just want to knock out of the water is I can't tell you how many people said to me, oh, you've got gestational diabetes, you're going to have a big baby. I did not. My 2 pregnancies were not large babies, and that was not true whatsoever. So for me, having gestational diabetes does not guarantee having a big baby. I hope this was helpful, and please know if you need a virtual hug, I am giving you a hug, because I know it is tough once you get that diagnosis, but you've got this. Thanks for watching. Bye.